Hey guys, welcome back to my vlog. So this week I am going to be primarily showing you a lot of Maastricht just because I've been spending a lot more time here rather than traveling, which I think is really important because this is my home base while I'm here. And I want to be able to say that I, really got to know this city and didn't just leave every single weekend. That's a priority for me while I'm here. So I'll be talking all about what I've been doing in Maastricht. I'll be talking about Carnival, which is a huge celebration that is actually happening this weekend. So I'll be showing some of that. And then I'm also going to talk about some of the difficulties that come along with study abroad that maybe not everybody talks about, but what's really important to kind of keep in mind. So enjoy. So first we have our little Valentine's Day celebration that we did with our friend group where we had wine and cheese with cute little heart bread and cake. We also visited the market many different times over the last 2 weeks. It happens every Wednesday and Friday. So sometimes we do Shabbat and we use the amazing food from the market, which is this delicious meal that you see pictured here. Next is one of my favorite cafes in Maastricht, which is Alley Cat Cafe, and it doubles as a bike shop. The coffee and pastries are great, and they have a cafe dog, so it's perfect. I also had my real first meal from a restaurant in Maastricht last week and had vegan fish and chips, which was really good. I spent lots of time in class, and as you can see, my 8:30 class is in a huge lecture hall, and unfortunately, I ended up biking back from class in the rain, which is a common occurrence, so make sure you always have your rain jacket. But I've spent every morning the last 2 weeks journaling while listening to my favorite playlist, and you'll also see the views of my walk to the grocery, studying at Alley Cat with a friend, the common area and kitchen of the guest house, and one of my favorite easy meals to make, along with the Carnival flags. Okay, so now let's talk about Carnival. Carnival is huge. I mean, I can't even put into words how important Carnival is to the culture here. So, Carnival is this huge festival that is celebrated mostly in the southern region of the Netherlands, especially in Limburg, which is where Maastricht is. So, it's like Maastricht is the hub for Carnival. There is no better place to be. And so this is an age-old tradition for the Dutch. And so Carnival originally was right before Lent, so lots of people were fasting, giving up things. Obviously, they still are, but now it's kind of a more of a cultural celebration, so much as a religious, but that was kind of its roots. And so it's supposed to be this huge celebration where you get to take in everything you're about to give up, eat everything before you have to fast. And it also just kind of celebrates this transition from winter into spring. It's colorful, it's loud, everyone's happy to be back outside. So that's kind of the history behind it. But during the week of Carnival, virtually everything is closed. I'm talking like supermarkets, schools, everything. Like, they get the week off from work and school just so they can celebrate Carnival. So that does mean if you're staying in town for Carnival, make sure you stock up on groceries beforehand, and medicine and everything like that. Things that are kind of essential because there are going to be very few places actually open. But this week is full of these huge parades with these floats, crazy and unique costumes. There are people who start sewing their costumes like a year in advance. Face paint, all of that. Lots of drinking. People start drinking in the early hours of the day and drink all day until night. There's tons of music, and the colors red, yellow, and green are on everything. You need to be wearing these colors in one way or another because those are the Carnival colors. So unfortunately, Carnival starts tomorrow. So I don't have any of my own footage for this vlog, but trust me, I will be giving it to you guys in my next vlog. But enjoy some pictures that I found from previous years. Okay, so let's talk about some of the difficulties and hardships that come with study abroad. So obviously study abroad is an amazing experience for a lot of people. And we're so lucky as students of Susquehanna to have such a thorough and accessible program and process. So obviously, I'm not here saying that study abroad is bad, but it definitely has its difficulties. And one of them is feeling, like you're missing out, missing campus, and that's totally normal. Campus is such a huge part of our lives at this point that seeing your friends there, doing all the things you usually do together is hard. And you're gonna miss campus and you're gonna have moments where you're like, oh, I really wish I was there. And that's totally normal. It's okay to miss Susquehanna even while you're here. So just kind of keeping it simple with that one. The other big one is missing your family. So even if you usually go a whole semester without seeing your family, it's totally different when, at Susquehanna they're only 2 hours away, 5 hours away. But not seeing them for an entire semester and knowing they're an entire ocean away is totally different. So if you're feeling a little more homesick than usual, don't be too hard on yourself. I mean, this is scary. You're here by yourself, maybe with friends, but you're not right next to family anymore. It's not like you can catch a bus, drive your car to go see your family. So keep in mind that even if you're not homesick while you're at Susquehanna, you may have some homesickness here, and that's totally okay, totally normal. And it's great to have a support system while you're abroad. So something my family does is we do a weekly Zoom call. So I get to Zoom with my mom, my grandma, and my sister, and we all get to talk about our weeks. It makes me feel so much better when I can talk to them, even if I wouldn't have been seeing them had I been at Susquehanna. The other big one is feeling like you constantly need to be doing cool and amazing things. Just because you're abroad does not mean you have to be seeing some awesome historical landmark every second of every day. You don't have to be traveling all the time, doing something cool. It's totally fine to lay in your bed and watch Netflix. I often find myself feeling really guilty when I do that because I'm abroad and I could do that at home. But it's important to have things that are comfortable and familiar. You don't need to push yourself to constantly be going, or you're gonna be exhausted and you're gonna burn out. So just knowing that just because you're abroad does not mean your life just needs to be this movie where you're doing all this cool stuff all of the time. It's exhausting. Do cool stuff when you can, but know that it's also okay to lay in bed one day or to stay in your home country for a few weeks, a few months. You don't have to leave if you don't want to. This is your experience and you get to control what you do. So kind of going off of that, because Susquehanna is such a big study abroad program, you probably also know a lot of people studying abroad and you're seeing it on social media or they're texting you about it and you're just thinking, oh, everyone's study abroad is so much better than mine. Like they look like they're having so much more fun than me. Maybe I should have gone to Spain or France rather than the Netherlands. Things like that. It's totally normal to question your experience, but also remember that they're doing exactly what you're doing. They're looking at your post and thinking, oh my God, they're having so much more fun than me. And it's not necessarily true because we also only post the good things most of the time. Study abroad is not just the things you put on social media. The things we put on social media are usually highlights of our trip and are kind of these over-exaggerated, only when the weather's great you post a picture, only when you're dressed super cute you post a picture. So just remember that that's not reality and you don't have to compare your experience to everyone else's that you're seeing on social media and such. That's something that I've really struggled with, seeing all these posts and everyone looks like they're having such a good time, but I have to remember that so am I, and they're going through a lot of the same difficulties that I am too, though. The last thing, and something that's really important, is that mental health, burnout, stress, all of those things exist on your study abroad too. I know it can be really easy to think, oh, I'm studying abroad, it's a whole new world, like I'm gonna be leaving everything behind, and it's not necessarily true. You're still gonna have some really stressful, bad days here. It happens and it is okay. You are still gonna feel burned out. You're still gonna have mental health moments, and that is totally fine. Again, making sure you have a support system, friends, family, professional help, all of that is totally fine and honestly great, even when you're not having bad days. Keeping up with yourself, keeping in tune with yourself is really important because again, when you feel like, everyone having more fun than you miss campus, sometimes that can lead to your mental health deteriorating a little bit, and that's okay. Just make sure you're taking care of yourself. And something I like to do is I like to journal every day. It just kind of helps me word vomit everything onto a page, how I'm feeling, and then I can look back on it and thank God, what a great time, So just really keeping in touch with yourself is really important when you're abroad because it can be really easy to kind of romanticize the experience and kind of think that there is no bad when there will be, and that is completely okay and normal. So keep those in mind, guys, because this experience is amazing and it's okay that it's not always perfect.